Bro, seeing this, it's making me so emotional. Just, it's been so long. Let me put this in perspective, okay? Just give me a moment. I bought this years ago. There was a anniversary for Spice of Wolf, and they sold only limited quantities of this when it first released. This is the first edition. And I love Spice and Wolf so much that I got a special cover of this, like a special number. It says it in here somewhere. I gotta find it. Yeah, here it is. So I had 890 out of like 1,000 copies. I love Spice and Wolf so much. I bought the entire light novel series condensed into this tome, and it's. I have figurines, man. I have multiple posters of Spice and Wolf, of this gorgeous series. This series holds so much emotion within my heart. To put in perspective with all of this, okay, just to really just take a moment and put this all in perspective. This was my first ever light novel series I ever read. This was the first series that I sat down and read from start to finish and craved more. Like, my reaction here, this was my initial thoughts. Like, when I first saw this trailer come out, this literally describes it. I could cry. I have tears in my eyes right now. It's a remake. It was my first ever light novel I read. It was the first series I ever added to my collection. Like, legit, over there, I have the light novels of Spice and Wolf, and it was the first series when I went to the bookstore and I got my first paycheck and I had money to my own name. It was the first series I went to buy at my local bookstore. It harbors so much emotion to me. Seeing this series after over a decade, like it first aired back in 2009 or 8. It's over a decade. It's been a long time, and we have just been waiting for so long. And to see this trailer, to just hear the gorgeous, the music here. Like, the gorgeous music. Like, the beginning here. Oh, it's just... Kevin is working on the music, by the way. And if you don't know who this individual is, he is the individual that made the soundtrack to Made in Abyss. And if you love Made in Abyss, yeah, you'll recognize the OST. The fact that Kevin is working on the OST of Spice and Wolf is just perfection itself. It literally is perfection. I could not ask for a better individual to make an updated score for Spice and Wolf, because Kevin really does make this very mystical and like just this mystical tone to his music. I love it so much. It is just, this is incredible news. There's been honestly just so much, like, oh my goodness, man, just seeing this after all of these years, I cannot put it enough to just how emotional this makes me. Man, I'm happy. I'm crying, but I'm happy. Like, I'm a grown man, I'm crying. I know I look pathetic. I know people will call me pathetic, but man, I get emotional, and this really was like my childhood. Like, this is legit my childhood. I know that some might find it cringe or whatever, but I literally, this was like one of my first few shows I started really watching when I was really getting to anime. It was a magical experience, and I remember waiting for translations. I remember picking up the volumes, and like at the current time, there was only like 4 volumes that I could pick up from Yen Press, and I had to wait years because the release schedule for it was so awful. I would have to wait like a whole year just to get one other volume translated, while Japan was like on volume 14, when we were still on volume 4. It was just, oh my goodness, the wait and all that was just atrocious. To just like, the music, the opening song is stuck with me to this very day. Hell, I have made multiple videos talking about Spice and Wolf in the past and all that, just wanting a continuation of some kind. And now we know what this is. We didn't know if this was going to be a continuation or a remake, But now we know it's a remake. And why is that? Why are we getting a remake of Spice and Wolf instead of a continuation? Well, there's a few reasons for this. For one, makes sense because it's old. It's an anime from 2008, 2009. It's old, and obviously, because of how old it is, just jumping to, let's say, a season 3 with updated animation is going to be very jarring. So the best way is to just start from the very beginning, get newcomers into it that have never seen this series or experienced it, and the old fans like me to dive into this, and it makes a lot of sense why they would do that. But on top of that, Spice and Wolf Season 1 and Season 2 was phenomenal. I really don't have any complaints, honestly. However, there was a volume cut. Volume 4 was cut from the anime. And even though Volume 4 isn't the most important volume of all of Spice and Wolf, it did have a very important arc for certain characters. And because of that, it makes a lot of sense. If they're going to remake it, they're probably going to put that, segment of the story within Spice and Wolf's anime, this, remake. And also, Spice and Wolf Season 1 and Season 2 came out in a completely different time period, where anime was not made for just continuations. Anime was made as an advertisement. I don't know how many of you guys are really old school anime watchers, but, if you remember back in early 2010s to 2000s and 1990s anime, most anime was just made as oh, go read the manga, go read the light novel. That's what it was. It just left you with a cliffhanger ending and never got a continuation, and left you wanting more to kind of go buy the volumes or whatever. And Spice and Wolf came out around that time, and so it was always left in the air oh, I guess, just go read the light novel. And it's been like that since. So what a morning. I don't know how many people care about Spice and Wolf. I doubt as many care as much about this series as I do. But it's beautiful, man. It's beautiful being able to see this series back after all these years, man. It really is. It makes me so happy. It's such a good way to start a day, man. It really is. I want to leave it at that. Thank you so much for watching. I love you guys, and just be safe, stay healthy. Chibi out.